Always good to win. It's in a place that we consider a home base. Getting to come here and play in an NFL venue. So proud of our fans. So humbled and grateful for our fans. It would have been hard for us not to be excited about the game when you walk out and you see how much gold and black was in the stands. So we got a lot of room to improve. We got to celebrate a win, but too many penalties. Didn't like the way we started offensively and on special teams. Defense did a great job to start the two 3-and-outs, I believe, and I love the way that the effort they played with. We had the bad play. This should have been a touchdown. We don't finish to the goal line. It would have made it 7-3 or 7-0 at that point. I can't remember what it was there, but little things like that we got to get cleaned up. But like I said, really proud of the way our kids played, how hard they played, and was pleased with the way AJ Swan performed. Did a great job not turning over the ball offensively, but like I said, they're going to listen a little bit more because we got a lot of things to clean up, but always good to be 1-0.
Questions? First one, second row right in front of you, Coach.
Jeremy Grandison, Highway 49. Tim just came in here and said if they didn't have any turnovers and played a clean game, they probably still would have lost because the offensive and defensive line. What did you see from your group tonight?
Well, I agree with what Coach said because we've recruited really well at those two positions and really happy with that part of it. We got a long way to go, but we wanted to build this thing from the inside out. And so when we got here, we knew that we weren't good enough on defense last year. The defensive line was an area we needed to address. And I told our athletic director before the game, I feel really good about our defensive line. I feel really good about our matchup there, and I feel good about the way that we'll protect the ball and the way we'll play up front. So I do think that can be a string for us. We got to get a lot better. We got to eliminate the penalties. We had 2 targeting plays. One of them took back a sack. We're going to have the ball on the 5-yard line. And it's a killing mentality of putting people away. And we let them hang the game way too long. And at one point in the game, they cut it to a 2-score game, and it shouldn't have been that close.
To our left.
Emma Moon, Charlotte Observer. Can you talk about Dominion's transition into app and what you made of his first performance tonight?
Yeah, we were involved in recruiting in Arkansas from Cedar Grove, Georgia. Ardo is a great kid. He's a hard worker. He's very quiet. He's not a guy that you guys want to get up here in front of you guys and talk because he's not going to talk. But he's got elite contact balance. He's tough as nails. He cares about his teammate. He's a really good teammate. When I left Arkansas, we ended up taking Rocket Sanders. And when I went to South Carolina in Delva, I thought was going to be the next great one at Arkansas. And it just didn't work out for whatever reason. But so excited he's here. The style of play, he embodies what app is. And that's smart, tough, competitive. And just the way he ran through people and played behind his pads and took care of the football, got over 100 yards rushing, 5 yards of carry. So really, really pleased with him.
Again, to our left.
Scott Fowler from the Charlotte Observer. AJ Swan, 368 yards. If you could talk a little more about specifically what he did so well, and when you really knew that quarterback decision, did you just kind of gamesmanship not announce it, or did you really not know until when?
I told AJ yesterday he was going to start, and it went back and forth the whole time. And it wasn't because anything other than we also were a really good number 2, and I like our number 3 as well. And neither one of them, they separated themselves in practice the way that they kept battling, competing. And one day one guy would have a good day, and the next guy the other one. There was no, I finally pulled both of them in together 2 days ago and told them that my decision was because I felt was best for the team at that moment was AJ. And you talk about his experience. He started in games and played before, and JJ's a really talented player as well, and we're very fortunate to have him. But I love the way that it was. What he did tonight is what we needed to see from practice. That he didn't ever get to the point in practice as well as he did tonight. He ran the offense. He was efficient. He threw the ball away when he needed to. He didn't take sacks. He took care of the football. He got us into some good plays when we can or alert plays. We called 2 or 3 plays at one time, and he was getting us in the right ones that obviously helped. And part of the offensive line and the defensive line playing well is to make sure that we put those guys in positions to be successful. And really happy with the way he operated the offense. He could play better as well, but tonight to play a team like that, and it's hard in the opener because it was sloppy. I mentioned the 9 penalties for 98 yards, and but you don't know. You're gonna have unscouted looks. You're watching a bunch of Ohio tape all summer to the point where you're like, I don't even know how many. I don't know if to be completely honest, I don't know if I watched one Charlotte game outside of like peeking their personnel because you just don't know what it's going to look like. But to go into that environment and to play the way he did, was really pleased.
Second row right here in front of me.
David Ware, 24/7 Sports. Coach, you scored 4 straight possessions bracketing halftime. You talked about a little bit of a slow start. Did you feel like you were building to that? Was there a particular moment or a catalyst that kind of flipped the switch for you?
No, I mean, other than being ticked off the way, the sloppiness, the way we started, but what I was happy is we called it the middle 8 and lap them. The defense got the turnover, we got the field goal, and you go out and you score, and you put yourself in a position to be where you want to be as far as the league goes. And yeah, I wasn't happy the way we finished it. There was a lull we hit there, and it comes from sometimes you got to know what winning looks like, and you got to put people away when you have a chance to put them away. And when you're coming off a season that we had last year, we're still training them to have the culture that we want. We should expect to win here. Our fans do, I do, our assistant coaches do, and we have to teach these kids what winning looks like and how to put people away. The 4 possessions, I knew that once we started playing well and stopped hurting ourselves, I knew what I thought it could look like, and that's what it looked like. Now, the expectation is to do that more often.
Back to the room left.
Coach, ever since you came to Boone, you were talking about building that teamwork and building that championship mentality from the team. How did you see that exemplified in tonight's game?
Yeah, I think it was the way they celebrated each other. It was, we talked about the brotherhood, the ball, the battle a lot. And you felt it, like they were cheering for each other. I was pleased that we didn't have, the dumb, we were smack talking. I think we played the game the right way. We played with violence. We need to clean up the technique and the penalties and those things, but it was a good start to building the culture and the style of football that this place has been known for a long time, and it should look that way. That's what our fans expect, that's what I expect, and we're going to get it to where our players expect that every week.
Back of the room.
Joey Ellis with Queen City News. What did you just make of Jaden Barnes tonight and just where he fits into this offense?
You want the good or bad right now? Because I love him.
Yeah.
I love him, and I'm so excited about him. I wanted to put him in a headlock after the fumble play and just finish. Just finish. You run a great route, make a great catch. The ball was a little bit underthrown, to be completely honest. And then but we talk about, we have a situational masters meeting every Friday, and this week Thursday before we get on the bus that came down here. And you just talk about those plays, finishing through the line, and at the end of the half, the out of bounds play, we got to kick the field goal. That was awesome. That's how it should look. That's being a situational master. Doing what we just did, we call it ASM. That's anti-situational master, but response. And we talked about survive the assault, work the cut. And when I told the team on Monday or whatever day, it's Sunday, that there was going to be, we're going to have to survive a little assault of our own emotion, the emotion of the first game. You hate saying it because as a coach, it just ticks you off because you know it's coming, but it's the first game. And I told my boss, Doug, before the game, I said, if we'll just play clean football and take care of the football, we're going to be okay. And we didn't play clean football. We played enough to win, and there's so much to get better from. But the way he responded and caught the touchdown right in front of our band down there that's what we want. And don't make the same mistake twice. Respond the right way. And so I was really pleased with that. He came up after. No one's bothered by it more than he is. He just cost himself a touchdown and the team and all that stuff. He knows that. So it's no use ripping. He came up to me right after and hugged me and said, "Coach, I love you, and I'll never do that again. I know I'll let the team down." And that's how you want them to respond, because that means it's out of yourself and into the team. So I love the kid. I'm glad he is here. I'm so glad he is here because he is dynamic and explosive and just he's fun to coach as well.
Last 2 questions. Third row.
Hunter Bailey with the Charlotte Observer. You guys get the interception going into half, go up 14, halftime adjustments. Talk us through those. What did you know you guys could take advantage of in the final 30 minutes?
It was more about us and making sure our hands stay inside and blocks, and just our technique got cleaned up. I was happy with the scheme. We didn't do anything differently in the second half. In a game like that, the adjustments come at the end of the first quarter, at the end of the first series, and as you see them play more, as that thing went. So it wasn't. There were no magic. We didn't add a play. We kept our scripts and we kept our game plan. We just executed better and we coached it better. And our kids. The first game, there's no excuse. It wasn't good enough, but they kind of relaxed and started playing football. And that's what we needed to see. We kind of survived the assault. I got through that thing. It was clunky, it was ugly, but at the end of the game, the final score is 34-11, so they did their jobs.
Last question, second row.
Piggybacking off that question, Coach, second quarter, score 7-3, you're in the red zone, 3rd and 6, you call a timeout with a minute 30 on the clock, you end the drive in a touchdown. Can you talk about that sequence right there?
Yes, our tight end lined up off the ball, and I saw it, so I ran in and called the timeout to make sure that I liked the play call that we had, and I saw when AJ was checking the play, which he was right, and then when our tight end lined up off the ball, I needed to burn the timeout, because, look, I told the guys, like, I don't want to use timeouts in the first and third quarter. Like, I'd rather have the 5-yard penalties unless it's a critical situation, a critical third down or red zone play. And to use the timeout right there, you're not fighting saving your timeouts. The down is more important than the time. So at that point, it was like, hey, use the timeout to make sure that we don't have a dumb penalty, because I liked the play call and I knew the coverage I knew what they were going to check into, and they did, and we scored.